Hey everyone, this is Meliktoth, and I decided to do a video today because it's been a while since I've done an actual video, and sometimes I prefer it this way. So today I wanted to talk about how you are going to get your goal, or how do you know you're going to get your goal. A lot of people kind of have that doubt about, am I actually going to get it? Is it actually going to happen? How will it come about? And that kind of thing. And that doubt can obviously really block them from being open to actually receiving it. And so people get caught up in this sort of limbo where they're waiting for weeks or months or even years sometimes to receive what they want because they keep doubting that it's actually going to happen. And so I want to talk about that for a little bit, and then later on I'm going to share a little trick that I use to sort of get beyond that doubt. So I'll get to that later. Doubt was one of the biggest things that got in my way in the beginning. I'm a very skeptical person, so by nature, I doubt pretty much everything. So I was wondering, does the law of attraction actually work? Am I going crazy? Am I delusional for believing in this? And is anything actually going to happen? So that really was an obstacle to me in the beginning. And it took quite a while before things actually started moving. I did have an initial success where the law of attraction really worked out for me when I was in a pretty big money bind. But after that, I just wasn't sure if it would work or not. And I wasn't sure if I was imagining the results or if something was actually happening. But for me, there was no great trick, especially in the beginning. I did figure out things over time, but for me it was just seeing that it did work. Once it started working, it really, really started working. And it doesn't help that there's a lot of misinformation out there, so I had to kind of cut through all of that stuff to get through what actually worked for me. But, once I started seeing that things worked, then that doubt started to melt away. But I want to talk about, because it is really important to have at least a belief or at least a possibility or an openness to things working out, to things actually happening for you. And so if you are doubting, you really want to focus on nipping that in the bud as early as possible, because that will sabotage your manifestation very quickly. And I want specifically to talk about the case where you just don't see a way for it to happen. You're asking for something kind of big, and it's not something that would normally happen to you. It's not something your subconscious mind is used to. And so you just don't see how it could possibly happen. It's a totally new experience that you're asking for. But the thing I've really noticed over the past 4 years of using the law of attraction and figuring it out is that the universe always finds a way to make it happen. Your only responsibility is to hold that vision within yourself of what you desire and not to contradict it, or at least to do your best not to contradict it. And I really want you to listen to this, because I know that a lot of people say this, and I also know that a lot of people don't apply this. So I really want you to hear what I'm saying and actually go out and do it. If you want something, if you are holding that vision within yourself, then there's nothing that can stop the universe from actually bringing it about. As long as you are open, you don't even have to be certain. You don't have to have belief or expectation. You just have to be open that this can happen. As long as you have that openness, then the universe will figure out a way. Even if it has to create an entirely new pathway that has not existed before, it will do that. And that is not your responsibility. And again, I know people say this. They say, don't worry about the how, but yet we do anyway. So realize, and this will come from experience after you do try it and it does work, but right now I just want you to trust what I'm saying. Realize that if you are holding that vision and you are feeling the end result of what it is you desire, that the rest is up to the universe. The pathway to getting there, the specifics of how it will happen, you don't have to know any of that. Now, inspired action may come up. You may have opportunities, and it's up to you to take those opportunities if and when they arise. Sometimes you won't need to do anything. Sometimes you will. But it's not up to you to figure out what the best action is. I disagree with people who say, try to take action daily, try to figure out what the best action is. It just doesn't work like that. Most of the process, about 99% of this process, is under the surface. It's not even in the physical world of action. Most of it's just within yourself. So you are just aligning yourself with the end goal and then allowing the universe to create that path. And it may be creating that path for a few weeks before you even see anything. So if you take action before that point, it's premature. I definitely believe in action, but you don't want to take it before it's time. So you want to give the process plenty of time to work itself out. You want to give the universe plenty of time to create that path. Sometimes there's not a path right now. Sometimes it has to create an entirely new one. And that's okay. And it will do that. And when it's time, then your part will be revealed. There's no doubt about that. Your only job is to hold that end vision and feel the feeling of that vision, of having it, of having accomplished it. And then not worry about the how, not worry about the implementation or the path of getting there. That is your only job. And then, yes, take action when it arises. Take those opportunities when they arise. But don't worry about it. It'll be really obvious. If you're not sure, if you're doubting, if it doesn't feel perfect, if it doesn't feel like the right thing, or you're anxious about it or fearful about it, it's not the right thing. It's not the inspired action. So wait for that to come up if it does. But your only job is to hold that end vision. My first major manifestation was getting off of government assistance, off of SSI. And it took me roughly 6 months to do so. And I didn't do it all at once. I did it step by step. And I had been on government assistance for probably 10 years at that point. So this was a totally new thing, and I had no idea how it was going to happen. I didn't want to work in an office. I didn't want to be beholden to that kind of schedule. So I had no idea how it was going to happen. And what ended up happening was that I found a job in Europe that I was able to work at from home. And eventually my wife also got a job eventually. And so we became really successful. And then that job turned into another job, which paid much better. And I was still working from home. And of course, my business started to be more successful. So just all sorts of things started to work out. But that path had to be created. And when it was time for me to act, I only had to take one action. And that was just sending in my resume to an offer that made itself known to me. I didn't go looking for it. It was there in my normal everyday path. I didn't have to do anything. It was just sort of what the heck, I may as well send in this resume. I doubt anything will happen anyway, but can't lose anything by trying. It was just that sort of flippant attitude. I didn't really care. I didn't really expect anything to happen. I was just open. And it did. And that's how I got off of government assistance, after being on it for 10 years. The universe found a way. And I had no college education. I went to college, but I didn't graduate. No formal qualifications. Nothing. But the universe found a way. So no matter what your goal is, the universe will find a way to bring it to you if you hold that end vision. That's the requirement. That's the only requirement. Everything else is just extra. And I know it's hard to overcome that doubt. I know that the doubt is persistent and difficult to overcome. So the one trick I found that really helps with overcoming doubt is in something I said earlier. I said all you have to be is to be open. All you have to do is to be open to the possibility of this happening. You don't have to be certain. You don't have to expect it. You don't even have to believe that it will happen. You just have to be open. And so I use something that I call the positive what if statement. A lot of times we use what ifs to sort of torture ourselves, like what if it fails? What if everything falls apart? What if it doesn't work? But instead of doing that, you turn it around and you say, what if this works? What if I get what I want? Just what if? You ask it in sort of a question. You don't state, I will get such and such, or I have such and such is coming to me. You just say, what if I could have it? What if I had it? Could it be possible? Is there even a 0.1% possibility of what you want being possible? Of course there is. If anyone else has it, then it's possible. You may not believe it, but is there even a 0.1% possibility that it could happen? And if there is, then focus on that possibility. Just feel that possibility. Be open to that possibility. And that's the only opening the universe needs to come in and make it happen. And that small little opening will grow into greater certainty. But all you need is, it's not totally impossible. There's a bit of a possibility, and to feel that, to focus on that. Because we know that whatever you focus on expands. So focus on the possibility. Choose where you're flowing your energy. Choose where you're putting your focus. Focus on that small possibility, small to you, that it could work out. What if it could? And just feel that. Even just saying, what if this could happen? Just opens up a feeling within you of possibility. And that will be the beginning of your goal. And do this every day. Don't just do it once and drop it. Do it every day, and that possibility will grow. Keep holding that vision every day. A few times a day if you have to. Don't obsess over it, but do it every day. And as long as you hold that goal, the universe will create the path to get there. So hopefully that helps. I am actually launching a course on Monday that discusses this in greater detail. It discusses how to cut through the illusions of the mind and of your ego, and how to step into the place of your true power, where you really can create anything. I call it entering the zero state, or just zero. So if you'd like to check that out, you have a few more days to sign up for that. You can go to darkascent.org/zero, ZERO spelled out. And you can check out that course. I would love for you to sign up. Thanks for listening, and I hope you have a wonderful day.